Hey guys, Redneck Mini 14 here, and this is going to be a quick comparison of the two AR-15 lowers that I have. It's also going to be kind of an explanation on the different ways that you can go about building an AR-15 on a budget, because these are both Anderson lowers, and Anderson makes some of the most inexpensive lowers, at least as far as aluminum lowers go. So they're very good for the budget-minded. Which, I fall into that category. So this one right here is the one I picked up the other day, and now keep in mind when this one is finished, it will look similar to the other one up here. But I bought this as a complete lower because this is all they had in stock as far as Andersons go, since this one has all the parts put in it already, and the other lowers that they had were like $100. This was like $200. This already has everything in it, so I went with this. And of course, all the parts that are in it are made by Anderson, or at least branded by Anderson, I guess. So the lower parts kit that's already in it is an Anderson lower parts kit, and in my opinion, the parts that are in this are probably a little bit better than the parts that are in this. We'll go over this in a minute. But, they seem to, at least the safety selector seems to fit better. And it actually has, the little point on it that points to fire and safe. Again, I'll show you the one on the other one in a minute. This lower receiver also has the trigger guard is actually part of the lower receiver, as opposed to this one where the trigger guard was part of the lower parts kit. They both have the A2 style pistol grip, because that's the standard pistol grip that comes with most AR-15 lower parts kits or complete lowers. This also has an adjustable stock, 6-position stock, kind of like an M4 style. Again, I'm going to take this off, probably sell it, and then replace it with an A1 stock that looks similar to this, only a little bit shorter. Just my preference on a stock. And again, with this one, I was going to put some wood furniture on it. I probably still will, but that might be a little bit pushed back a little bit further than I originally planned, because I want to put all my focus on building this AR-15. I wasn't originally going to do this, but I figured if I don't do it now, I might not ever have the chance again, so we're going to put all my efforts into building this next AR-15. So, this other AR-15 lower that I have was bought as a stripped lower. This one as a complete lower cost $195 plus tax. This one as a stripped lower cost $65 plus tax. And it is a little bit different lower, again, because it has the trigger guard was not part of the lower like this one is. So slightly different lower receivers, but they're still made by Anderson, and still good quality and a good price. The lower parts kit that I put in this one is a CMMG, and for the most part it's pretty much the same until you get to the safety. Now when you get to the safety doesn't seem to fit as nicely as the one that was put in by Anderson. When it's on safe, it doesn't exactly go all the way up to where it should, and that's because the safety actually rides a little bit lower into the receiver, and it gets caught on the little stop here, and as you can see, it's scraping away some of the black finish there, so you can see a little bit of bare aluminum. So it fits too closely, and it doesn't actually go all the way up like it should. So that's just something to point out. Also, it doesn't have a little pointer on this. I'm not sure if that's actually how CMMG manufactures them, or if I just got a bad one or what, but this one doesn't have the little pointer on the safety, which normally you would see. Like again, on this one, it's got the little pointer thing here, so you know that you're on fire or safe. Is that a big deal? No, not really. I don't really mind. But, you know, that's just something to point out, that when you go with lower parts kits that are not made by the same company as the lower receiver, they might not fit as well, although they are pretty much all to the same spec. It's just that's what happens when you manufacture things. This one also has an A2 style stock and buffer tube and buffer. This whole setup here was made by UTG, which is made in Taiwan. Ooh, it's not made in America. Not a big deal. You know, it's just your standard A2 style buttstock, and it works pretty good. It has a little trap door back here that's kind of hard to open up. But anyway, you get the idea. It has a trap door back here that you can open up and store your cleaning kit back here. So anyway, those are two different ways that you can go about building an AR-15. You can either go with a stripped lower, like I did with this build, or you can go with a complete lower, like I did with this build, although I will be changing out the stock and the buffer tube. But it was still a complete lower, so I don't have to put any of the other parts in, and really I don't have to put this part in if I didn't want to. But you know, I like a solid stock. I like the feel of a solid stock. It just seems, it just feels like a more solid design than a collapsible stock where you have two parts coming together. I'd rather just have one complete solid stock like this. That's just my preference. Does it really matter? No. Are these solid, you know, stocks? Are they a pretty solid design? Yeah. But again, just my preference. I also kind of prefer the look of a one-piece solid stock as well. So, you know, just the way I like to do things. So anyway, those are my two lower receivers. I still only have one upper receiver, so I could put the upper on this one if I wanted to and shoot it like that, but it looks kind of weird, and it's more front heavy than it is with this one. With this one there's more weight back here. With this one there's like almost no weight back here, and so with that heavy barrel, it's very, very front heavy, and so I'd rather just keep it on this. But anyway, I'll probably get the rest of the parts for this over the next few months, and we'll put it together and do some shooting videos, or, you know, show and tell videos and whatnot. But anyway, that's it for this video. Subscribe to my channel, like me on Facebook. I'm Redneck Mini 14, and until next time, be safe.